Mr. Aurelio Montinola, third, Chairman of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Michael Alba, President. Dr. Maria Teresa Trinidad Tino, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Attorney Kiana Montinola, Vice President, Marketing and Communication. Dr. Mirna Quinto, Vice President, Academic Development. Mr. Jovan Castro, Assistant Vice President, Academic Services. Dr. Gerald Villar, University Registrar. Dr. Joel Chavez, Dean, thank you for your generous introduction. Dr. Jose Eduardo Mamat, Associate Dean, Institute of Arts and Sciences. Program heads and assistant program heads of the Institute of Arts and Sciences. Faculty, proud parents, and graduating students. Happiness, joy, and feelings of accomplishment permeate this hall this morning in view of the work and hardship that everyone have exerted and experienced over the past several years. Their culmination today gives us the opportunity to reflect as you put behind you the years of effort and begin to look forward to the future. Few of you in the audience may know what a national scientist is, and most are probably wondering who is the elderly man at the podium. It was a singular honor that I received a few years ago from the President of the Republic, the rank and title of National Scientist. I was one of 4 who were most recently recognized as such, to join the roster of 41 men and women to have been so honored in a span of 4 decades, of whom only 15 survive today. I am here today to share some ideas and points of view that may be of some use to the members of this graduating class. Looking back, when I graduated from college in 1962, it never occurred to me that I would be recognized as a national scientist one day. I would like, therefore, to share with you this morning some of the events, the effort, and the visioning that helped propel me to the greatest scientific heights that can be attained in this country. My interest in science was aroused in grade school by an interesting teacher, and this was reinforced in high school. That inclination did not really blossom until graduate school, when the opportunities to focus on natural science finally arrived. But when they did, many, many years later, I was ready. How was this so? I learned the important lesson of giving my best to whatever task or occupation I had to undertake, even if it was not my first choice. It may be the stepping stone to your desired goal or objective. In my personal ascent, excelling in the humanities and the social sciences as an undergraduate paved the way to scholarships in the natural sciences at the graduate level, first through the Fulbright travel grant for my master's degree, and subsequently for my foreign graduate scholarship in marine biology for my doctorate degree. If I were to describe my undergraduate education, I would say that it was long drawn out, many semesters of learning basics in various subject areas, not necessarily my choice, but were essential parts of the curriculum, to which I added a few courses to round out my education. No doubt, you probably remember similar experiences. But I gave it my best and graduated with the highest honors. From then on, it was focusing more and more on what I really wanted. General biology at first, but eventually concentrating on marine biology, where I was able to excel and make significant contributions, leading to my eventually becoming a national scientist and being given the task and honor of addressing you this morning to share my experiences and lessons learned. The need to focus. You are at the crossroads of your lives when you can put behind you the fun years of academic life and concentrate on making a living, on the challenging task of raising a family, and hopefully on making your mark in society. Focusing on an objective becomes crucial at this stage in your lives. In today's challenging world, it is not sufficient to just earn a living and live day to day, or from salaries collection day to the next. While some people may take this route, you probably do not want to be in that rut, at least not for very long. Set your sights on a higher goal and go for it. For this, you need to do research and consult with individuals who can help you. In today's world of the internet and the cyberspace, the world is literally at your fingertips. After consulting with your mentors and friends, you can focus on what you might like to be and where you would like to go. Explore opportunities, and after consultation, embark on your chosen path to where you would like to be in the future. Of course, for some, there may be a period of hesitation and uncertainty. This is not unusual, but this should not take too long. You now have at least a baccalaureate degree. The period of procrastination should be over, and it is time to be more serious, to be very serious about the future. Character traits that are not negotiable. Relatively few in the audience may be familiar with the UP Marine Science Institute, the MSI, a graduate department of the UP College of Science that is now in its 4th decade of existence, and which I had the honor and privilege of leading for half that period, having been its founding director. It is not my intention today to narrate its origin and development. However, I would like to share some of the principles and the guiding philosophy that drove that department to unprecedented heights. The MSI is possibly alone in this country, and certainly the first academic department to have faculty who all have doctoral degrees and who have all published scientific papers in reputable international journals. It would be tedious for me to enumerate the achievements of the Institute and its faculty and students, but allow me to briefly highlight some of them. The National Academy of Science and Technology, or NAST for short, is the official recognition body of the government for achievement in the natural and social sciences. This recognition carries some perks which are granted for life. While many academic departments, or indeed universities, vie for the distinction of having academicians, those that are elected to be the members of the NAST, among their faculty, the Marine Science Institute has 8 academicians, with a 9th to be conferred the honor early next month. To further cap this achievement, 3 of these academicians have been endowed the title of National Scientist, making up 20% of the living members of this highest rank. Number 1, honesty. Allow me to share with you some of the attributes and the habits of the members of this institute, with the hope that some of these may be of help to you or use to you in your personal lives and careers. While I was a graduate student abroad, one trait that was expected and which could not be compromised among all of us was honesty. As the founding director of the MSI, I emphasized this trait. No faculty or student could countenance any form of dishonesty. This was an unwritten honor code that was strictly adhered to. No professional organization can move forward to attain the highest levels of achievement if this virtue is compromised. Thus it was that the Institute won the trust and admiration of all, particularly of the funding institutions. It is no wonder that this year I was told that the sum total of the research, infrastructure, and training grants of the Institute add up to nearly 1 million pesos. 2, spirit of collaboration. As director of the MSI, I placed a premium on competence in the recruitment process for staff. Thus, it was easy to come up with good research proposals. But how can one optimally utilize abundant resources? By working collaboratively. It was important to recruit personnel who were compatible and willing to collaborate rather than to compete. But more importantly, the working environment emphasized sharing of resources, including time. Everybody helped everybody else within the Institute. There were no silos in the work environment. There was no negative or destructive criticism, walang siraan, that would discourage others or put them down. Constructive criticism in the workplace was much in evidence, and many hurdles were surmounted through the exchange of ideas and experiences. All students deserve the support of all the faculty, and where the resources allowed, these were shared for the success of the students. Whither the graduates? The Philippines is presently enjoying relative economic prosperity if we are to believe our GDP figures and what NEDA has been telling us. But if we look about us, we see many needs that have to be addressed in society. It may therefore be appropriate to ask the question, where should FEU graduates focus their energies? Many answers or suggestions can be given to address this, too many to enumerate. In the remaining few minutes that I have, let me share with you some thoughts that you might consider in the coming months and years. Consider the carrying capacity of this planet Earth, the only one that we have. It does not take much intelligence to realize that we have reached a point where resources are more and more limiting for the average Tao. Globally, the total population is so large and its need for energy and resources are so great that the whole planet is slowly but surely being degraded. Obviously, some adjustments are needed. As you walk away from this hall today, it will be good to take away some simple concepts. The Earth is a finite planet that needs to be cared for. It does not take great intelligence to realize that it is a warming planet and have been in this mode for some decades. But we are now at the brink of disaster. Climate change is more and more evident, particularly through global warming. Add to that the little appreciated ocean acidification. It is not my intention to give you a closing lecture on these phenomena, but let me share a few concepts and potential consequences if we do nothing different from what has been going on for decades. The news these days often mention President Trump, including his recent decision to pull America out of the Paris Agreement on curbing greenhouse gases to put a cap on futuristic scenarios about global warming. The world is using the best available scientific information and climate models, and the outlook is not good. This situation would certainly worsen if world leaders decide not to do anything significant to try to curb the increase in greenhouse gases and atmospheric temperatures. The unraveling realization, however, is that even with the Paris Accord targets, more and more people will be subjected to heat stresses more often, which will lead to increased mortalities in many countries, including the Philippines. As reasonable Filipinos, let us individually and collectively remind ourselves that caring for the earth is the responsibility of each and every one. As FEU graduates, you have to make a conscious effort to try to understand the global issues facing us. 1, an increasing population. 2, increasing waste production. 3, increasing energy consumption leading to global warming. And 4, loss of biodiversity. As graduates of Far Eastern University, you must make a determined effort to be part of the solution rather than contribute to the problems, both at the national and international levels. In doing so, I leave you with a message that you must try to always give your best, strive for excellence in your work, in any work you have to do. Focus on your goals and objectives, even if multiple other duties and responsibilities have to be hurdled along the way. Honesty must be consciously carried out in the workplace and in your personal lives until it becomes second nature to you. And the spirit of collaboration must animate you in your relationships at work, at play, and at home. As you leave this hall today, let us help one another care for this, our only planet, to be a better place for everyone. Congratulations to the graduating students, to their parents, guardians, and to the mentors that guided them all these years. Godspeed.